You are listening to the Stop Binge Eating podcast with Kirsten Sarfty, episode number 258. Welcome to the Stop Binge Eating podcast. It's time for you to end your food obsession and begin feeling confident and in control around food. You are absolutely capable of eliminating binge eating from your life, and I'm going to show you how by giving you simple tools and insights that you can apply in your own life. I'm your host, Kirsten Sarfty. Now let's get to it. Hi, let's jump right in and talk about those times when you just don't know why, how, or what. This is a topic that I've touched on here and there throughout the podcast, and I decided I wanted to give it its own episode because it's something that I see causing people to get stuck sometimes. There's so many things that I hear people say that they don't know, that they need to know as they're working on stopping binge eating. There's the hows, where they don't know how to stop binge eating as a whole, how to stop overly restricting themselves, how to feel an emotion, how to feel an urge without giving into it, how to change their thoughts. There's also not knowing what other options they have, like another option for how else they could be thinking about something or what else they could do. And then not knowing why they did what they did because they don't have awareness of their thoughts or feelings, or not knowing why they even feel urges to binge at all. Having these answers that they don't know are part of the answer for how they'll stop binge eating. When they know the how, then they can work on doing it. When they know what the other options are, they can choose and practice one. When they know why they did something or what they were thinking or feeling before they did it, then they can have understanding of their motives, decisions, and drivers and work on changing their motives, decisions, and drivers. But when they don't know, they can't change anything, or at least not change what needs to change in order to have effective change. They won't know what to change and what to do differently to have the proper direction and guidance. And if they don't, then they won't do anything differently, or they'll try to do different things, but it might not be the right thing for them. I sometimes see people work on a how that isn't the right how for them. It's not the right method for them, for their issues, for their struggles, or for their personal self and what they need. A common way that this shows up for people who binge eat is when they go on a diet to try to stop binge eating or try to eliminate foods from their life. Those aren't going to be helpful hows for pretty much anybody who binge eats and will most likely exacerbate the problem. But if they don't know what to try because they're simply saying something like, I don't know how to stop binge eating, then they're not going to find out how and therefore not learn how to do it. It's the same for thinking, I don't know how to feel an urge or emotion without eating to make it go away. If they're thinking that, they won't find out how and learn how. So their same eating habits will continue. And then there's not knowing what your other options are. If you don't know what they are, then you'll keep choosing the same option. And you're obviously going to keep getting the same results. If you're familiar with what I teach about stopping binge eating because you've listened to other episodes of this podcast, so much of it revolves around your thoughts and feelings. How you're thinking is going to be key in understanding and changing what you're doing and how you're behaving. Because your thoughts cause your feelings and your feelings drive your actions. So if you want to do differently, you have to think differently. So you feel differently, and those different feelings will drive different actions. But sometimes people have no idea what they could think instead of what they are thinking. So they get so stuck on what they've been thinking that they can't even see other options. And if they don't see other options, they'll keep choosing what they've been choosing. An example of this shows up a lot in body image, where we keep using the same word, a word that feels terrible to describe our body and how it looks. But that word is only one option, and it is an option. And if you don't see another option that still feels true to you, then you're going to keep using the same one, something like disgusting, flabby, ugly, unattractive, and keep feeling terrible, which will drive you to act terribly. That's one of the confusing series of events that people have a hard time understanding when they hate their body and end up binging, which obviously isn't going to help change their body like they want to. They're most likely binging to avoid their thoughts and feelings about their body or to distract or to make themselves feel better instead of changing how they think because they don't know what else they could think. But there are always other options. We can always find a different perspective if we want to. We can always use different words if we want to. But if we simply say, I don't know what else to think, then we'll be stuck thinking what we've been thinking and change nothing. And then there's knowing why you binged, knowing what happened and being aware of what was going on before a binge. This is going to be crucial in understanding your patterns and what needs to change. There is a moment that you made the decision to start eating. What did the decision sound like? Why did you make the decision? What was going on before you made the decision that influenced your decision? If you just say that you don't know, then you're not going to uncover why the binge happened and what is most likely the reason why most of your binges happen. Or if you don't know what you're doing that is causing you to feel urges to binge in general, which is going to be a driver for binge eating, then you won't know how to stop them from showing up. And if you don't know these things, if you don't have this understanding, then you won't even know what thoughts to change or what it is you need to do. And then you'll do what I mentioned a moment ago. You'll just keep thinking the same thoughts and keep trying things that aren't addressing the root causes of your binging. And what's also really important to note here is that when you think, I don't know, for whichever reason, you're going to feel defeated, hopeless, or confused. Those are feelings that will most likely stop you from doing anything. Those feelings drive people to give up. They drive inaction. And of course, that will not result in you stopping binge eating. So I don't know can't be the answer that you settle on. When I ask my group members a question and they respond with, I don't know, I don't let them stay there. Sometimes I'll ask them to take a guess. Because what happens sometimes is that they don't see what they think is the right answer, so they say nothing at all. But when we open up the option of being wrong, where we're just brainstorming ideas, then it's getting the brain looking for the answer. Have you ever been trying to figure out something like someone's name? And at first you have no idea, but you take a guess at what you think the first letter might be. And you guess a name beginning with that letter, but then you decide that that's not it. So you take another guess based off that first one. Maybe you realize it's not that letter, or you try another name beginning with that letter. And although you haven't gotten it yet, you start taking more guesses until you finally figure it out. It's like that. We get the ball rolling with a guess, and I can't tell you how many times I've seen my group members start guessing and talking after they initially said, I don't know, and they eventually get to the aha where they say something and then say, that's it. They get there because instead of accepting that they don't know, they were willing to explore. And because they did, they found the answer. And it's so liberating when you understand something and solutions become easier to see, and seeing solutions in itself can feel so good. But then there are other times when they legit just do not know. And that probably happens for you too. It for sure happens with me sometimes, where I just don't know how to do something or don't see other options or don't know why I did what I did. And we might not even have a guess. We might be completely lost for an answer. But we still don't have to settle with I don't know. We can figure it out. We live in this amazing world with so much knowledge that's available to us, whether it be somewhere online or in a book or within another person. When we settle on I don't know, we're not going to put in effort to look for that knowledge. Again, I don't know is going to drive inaction and giving up most of the time. I don't know is a stopper. But I'm going to figure this out is more like determination, which will get you searching for an answer. It's not that you don't know, you just don't know yet. The answer exists and you will find it. And that may mean you ask someone else to help you find it, or you research, Or you pay closer attention to yourself and notice what's going on internally with your thoughts and feelings, or take some time to do some self-exploration. When I ask my group members something and they legit don't know the answer, if I do know the answer, I will tell them. I will give them my knowledge. If they try to guess and aren't finding the answer, and I don't know the answer because I can't know it, because the answer lies within them. So for example, I can't know what they're thinking or feeling. I can only guess if they don't tell me, and my guess could be wrong. Then their homework is to pay closer attention to themselves, or to spend some time doing some journaling about it and explore their mind on their own. And they will find the answer eventually. Then when it's figured out, we can move forward. Now we can work on effective solutions. So if you hear yourself say, I don't know, as you're working on stopping binge eating, don't accept that answer. Take some guesses, explore yourself, or find someone who does know. Know that the answer exists and decide that you will find it. All right, that is all for today. I will talk to you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Stop Binge Eating podcast. If you like what you heard today and you want more, go to coachkir.com/free. That's COACHKIR.com/free to get some awesome free stuff to help you stop binge eating.